Jack, how much are you looking forward to this one tomorrow night?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Huge one in terms of the group. Our first European home match under this manager, home European match, of course. So yeah, it's going to be a good night. Looking forward to it. Like I said, it's comes at an important time for us, a crucial part of the group, a chance for us to go top of the group and set us up in good stead for the last two games and hopefully qualify. So it's a big important game.
Is that the focus now with two home European games coming up? We've seen what a force Rangers can be at Ibrox on European nights. It's to try and implement that over these next two matches.
Without doubt, I don't think there's anyone that we come up against that we're afraid to play at home, especially. I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be incredible. We're all looking forward to that, but we're excited for the opportunity to play these guys again. Started off tricky for us last time round, but we sort of figured it out second half. And in the recent weeks, we've been improving a lot, I think. So yeah, a great opportunity for us. And yeah, Ibrox is always a special place to play, so it's going to be a good night. From the last time you played Sparta until now, It's obviously not been that long a time under the manager, but have you seen sort of significant signs of progress over that spell? I mean, it's felt like a long time. It's felt like we've been together for ages, which I think is testament to him. I think the desire from the group has always been there. I think it's been channeled perhaps, and I think the manager's simplified things for us. But certainly I think in performances as well, it's shown that there's a lot of talent in this group, that there is a lot of belief and desire in this group, and it's sort of coming together. And I guess we've seen that in a short space of time. But the way that the manager is and the way that we are, we're not stopping at anything. We've got things that we want to achieve. We've got work to do, and that's a conscious effort. Every single day is to keep getting better and improve. So we've come a long way, I think. Still a way to go, but we're getting towards the team that we want to be.
Jack, you said that the manager simplified things. Can you give us examples of that?
I guess without giving too much away as far as how we want to play and things like that. The messages have been really clear. I know that there's more things that I want to implement as time goes by. I think we're only scratching the surface as far as tactical and technical, physical, everything he's trying to bring to the club and improve in all aspects. So I think we're only seeing a little bit at the minute, but I think there's more to come from. I think he's touched on it himself, that there's more he wants to bring. But yeah, without going into too much, there's not a stone he isn't looking to turn and find improvement in.
How would you sum up his style as a manager?
Effective, I think. I think being efficient. I think the way that this club is, what's expected, winning football. To win, you need to score goals, you need to be solid defensively, and you need to play from a good shape going forward. So I think if you were to summarise what the manager wants from us, you can probably take it from that. The finer details of how you want to play are within that, and that's obviously what we work on a lot. But he wants us to be difficult to beat, and he wants us to be forward and be up the pitch, putting press high up the pitch, and ultimately creating chances. And I think in the game so far, he's made subtle adjustments that have made us, a lot more efficient team going forward, creating a lot more chances, scoring plenty of goals. We'd still like to see it going in more because we're creating those chances. So I think it's become a much more enjoyable place for the strikers to play.
In terms of your role, obviously, defensively, since the manager's come in as well, it's been good. I think only 2 goals conceded. Have you felt that impact directly? Well, the stats would suggest you have.
Yeah, I think we've still got the most clean sheets in the league already so far. So I think even prior to the manager coming in, we've prided ourselves on trying to keep the ball out of the net, which is important. Have we improved on that since? Yeah, I think we have. I think we've given up less chances. I think we've been pressing a lot higher up the pitch, which ultimately keeps the ball further away from your goal. And within that, there's different things he's asking to do defensively, whether it be set plays and things like that. So we're still learning exactly what he wants from us, and I think in this short period of time, we're showing really positive signs. And when you keep the ball out, it's a lot easier to go on and win games. And long may that continue.
How would you sum up his man management style, and how's the mood in the camp just improved in the last couple of weeks?
I think everything's had to improve because we weren't happy with where things were. It was a difficult start to the season for everybody, so I think that goes without saying. I don't think there's anything there to take from that. When you're winning and you're playing better, people are a lot happier. But as far as the manager goes, I think I touched on earlier, he's simplified things. He's made his demands obvious, not clouded. If there's things that, there's been occasions where I know he wants to improve certain things and aspects, whether it be fitness or whatever, there's been things that he's touched on and been sure to come back and given us reason as to why, and backed up his reasons as to why he's making us do certain things or play certain ways. So there's no grey area. I think the lads know what's expected, and he's included everybody. Look, I think when you're playing regular, and there are regulars in the team that have played more than others, others that are on the outside can perhaps feel distant from it. I think he's been great at bringing those guys in, making them feel a part of it. And when it comes to extra work, understanding why he wants them to do extra work, because he wants to be on the same level of those that are playing. And as a result, you've got 24, 25 players that are capable of performing for this club. And I think he's done a good job of, making everyone feel a real part of it.
Jack, just on another matter, Robert McCrory's been announced for the Scotland squads for the upcoming games. Is that pleasing for you to see him make that step? I
think I knew before him. I think I came in, I saw it on in the TV in the change room and say congrats to him. He's a top goalkeeper. He works extremely hard. It must be difficult for him. I've been in a position before where you've not played as much, and I can understand frustrations, but he has worked hard. And obviously Scotland feel that they've got a top goalie on their hands, and I believe that they do.
Jack, the manager spoke about driving standards, maintaining standards. He's identified you as one of those players that he sees that can do that. Brought you into this leadership. Have you enjoyed that added responsibility? Is that something that you thrive on?
Nothing's changed for me. Nothing's changed. Under Michael Beale was the same. For me, I've got to do my role and be as natural as I can in that. And for me, that's being a leader. Prior to this manager coming in. And while this manager's here, and while we're all here, that's just the way I am, is trying to be the best that I can be, whether that's vocally, performance, whatever, that's just the way I am. So if that helps and people can follow, great, and if other people prefer to take messages from other people, then great, but you can't have one leader or two or three. We've got a substantial amount of good speakers, good leaders in this group, and it's an honour to be considered a part of that.
When everybody spoke about you having big shoes to fill, you've clearly done that, and the fans have really taken to you as well. I mean, how much
I've not filled them yet. I've not filled them yet.
The start that you've made and the relationship that you've been able to strike up with the supporters, how much has that helped you as well?
It's certainly made the beginning to my career here easier. I don't think I thought about it too much. I was just keen to, hit the ground running and play as well as I possibly could. I guess with the difficult start that they had, it maybe emphasised that even more. But for me, I guess as a goalkeeper, you can sort of separate yourself a little bit from the stresses at times and just focus on your little job away from the team, if you like, because you are a bit on your own at times, and just focus on that. And I think that's the best way that I can help this team. Look, there's times in games where I'm going long periods without being a part of the game at all. As we're getting better, I think that's becoming more and more so. So the times between me being required are less. I just try and focus on what I do, and thankfully so far that's been to a high standard. And I guess the club have got a soft spot for keepers. They've had some, as we've touched on, some incredible keepers over the years. And I'm not where they won. They were successful, and that's obviously what I want to be here. So we're far from filling those shoes, but if I'm some way to getting started, then we're on the right path.
You kind of preempted the question there. I was going to ask you, have you had to change a lot about your goalkeeping style, given that you're now at a team where certainly domestically you might have 70% possession, you might only be called into action once or twice in a game? No, goal's the same, the ball's the same. I think I've had similar experiences at international level before where you go periods of time without the ball. It is what it is. I think as you get older and mature more, you learn how to stay connected with the game differently. You're probably a lot less hot-headed than when you used to be, and running on pure adrenaline when you're younger. It's a lot more calculated and a lot more sort of playing chess, if you like, throughout the game, just making sure you're in the right positions. I think it comes with confidence as well, just feeling comfortable about myself, feeling comfortable in the environment and around my teammates, and just in a good place. But I haven't consciously changed anything. As a keeper, I think the biggest compliment is just sort of go about your work as simply and easily as you can, and hopefully I'm doing that.
Last couple of guys. Just going back to the issue of conditioning and fitness, Jack, new manager put a lot of stress on that. How did the players react to that?
I think I touched on it earlier about the fact that he's bringing everybody in. I think sometimes if you can, the old ideas of running stupid distances off can be a bit of a punishment to people, or could feel that way. He's made it clear that if there's people that do an extra running, it's not as a punishment, it's to get you up to the standards, or up to where the lads that are getting those numbers in, week out. So that when the opportunity comes, that he will call on those people, which he will do, because we're going to need to over the course of the season. They're not a yard off, they're up to the standard. So I think when he articulated it in that way, and it's not as you're running because you're not playing, or you're running because you're not fit enough, it's no, you're running or you're doing extra work to get up to the level that we need you to play for this club. And the lads are on board with that, because ultimately that works in everybody's favour. For those guys, it means they're ready. For the rest of the team and the rest of the club, it means that all 24, 25 players are ready to go when called upon. So I think that's where it's at.
Jack, obviously the priority is to qualify from the group, but if you were to achieve that, and there are a lot of good teams in this competition, is there a belief that Rangers can go deep in this tournament?
I think we're taking every game as it can. Whether we're underdogs, whether we're not, whether we're favourites, to us it doesn't matter. We know what it's like when people have got to come and face us at home, so we know we're strong there. And I think as a team, we're growing in strength and belief that we can play anyone. Maybe that wasn't quite the feeling some time ago, but now it's certainly growing to that. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have some difficult games, and we're going to have some scenarios where we've had to come from behind already against Hearts a few weeks back. We're growing as a team, and I think that the belief is, whether we're winning, we're behind, that we're going to win a game of football. So I think we're heading towards a position where, look, we really don't fear anybody. I think that's where we sort of fall in line with what this club is all about.